So today is the first day of fall. For me, and I think I'm not the only one, fall is somewhat of a time of reflection. It's so crazy in the summer. There's so much work to be done. There's so many fires that are always on, so that when the fall arrives and then the weather kind of slows down, cools down, it just creates more space to kind of breathe and think. And for me, at this time, I'm a lot with the people that we have at the farm, and they're thinking about what their next steps are. Are they coming back for a next year? Or they're starting their own project? And my role is really to be with them and accompany them. And I always kind of start about, what do you want to do and why? And so I go to the process myself of asking myself why. Why am I still farming? Why am I doing this? Why am I going through these summers that are crazy and, they're exciting, but they're tiring. And there's some discouragement sometimes. But for me, that question of why we farm is really important. And I have this reflection that, farming allows us in many ways to live an alternative lifestyle. It allows us to be, who we want to be in a space that is ours to define and ours to construct, even the social construct. There's so many things about farming that relates to how we are together on the farm. And we get to decide how this is going to be, how this is going to be designed. For us, because we've been having people over on our farms for so many years, food and eating together is a big part of that. Spending time outside of our farm duties, either doing sports or having dinners or going to events. Not all the time, but that's part of it. But in the end, it's really about that alternative way of living, and that's what I appreciate a lot about us doing this. And not sure if you guys listening to this are all on farms and you stop to sometimes think about it, but it's not just when people fantasize about farming and farmers, they're like, oh yeah, it'd be great to be out of the city and not have an office job. But it's a lot more than that. It's about being in a space that was, designed to live differently. And I feel like today, in our day and age, with everything being so formatted and supermarkets, and it's just like there's so much standardization in everything. It's great to be able to live off the land, off, selling veggies that you grow. And, I think the word that, when I think about it, the word that describes this best is freedom. I really think that we're farming for freedom. Freedom to live a life differently, freedom to design it so that you can play outside, freedom to, live with others on a piece of land. So I really like that word, freedom, when I think about it. And obviously, for me, especially in the last years, I've started another farm project. I'll tell you guys about that eventually, FQT, and training young farmers and really developing a lot of resources about how to farm. That's really important. How to farm is really important because that allows you to have the good life that you want. But the why you farm is really important. And I think we should all be asking this question, not just for farmers and for farming, but, why are you doing what you're doing? And if, is this the life that you want to live? And if so, why? And if you're challenged and thinking that perhaps you're not living the life you want to live, then why? And write it down. And so, yeah. I'm going through this process now. Fall really does it. Kind of back to school. And again, if I ask myself the why question, I think that's what I like most about my farming life, is that I've created it. Me and Maud-Hélène, we've built the farm. We've raised our kids in the in the countryside. It's never easy, and I'm never going to be the one that say, oh yeah, market gardening is just, you can get rich and do whatever you want. It's not that. It's never easy. There's always challenges, but it allows you to live a life that you're setting up for yourself. And that's definitely what I think, for me, is what's most important. I choose this life, and I like this life. And I think what we're doing is really important. We're feeding people. We're taking care of a piece of land. We're stewards, for sure. And we're connecting with so many people in the community. So a real example of what I'm talking about is just the communal aspect of our farm life. When I was at university, I lived somewhat in a commune. It was like a political commune, an anarchist commune. And we would have, one person cook for everyone. We were 10 of us living in a big apartment. There's like 2 apartments in Montreal, ganged up together. And then we had one person that would cook for everyone. A lot of dumpster diving, a lot of cool stuff was happening. And that person, we would alternate. That person would cook for everyone. And the meal was really when we would all get together and chat, debate, discuss, challenge ourselves with our beliefs. For me, that was like life-changing, because I grew up in a suburb, and it was very classical. There wasn't any debate at my home, and we weren't talking about politics, and we weren't talking about, social affairs or, feminism or, the role of, social justice. And that really wasn't part of my equation when I grew up. But when I went to university and I was surrounded with people that was what they were questioning, and the status quo of how society is run, food was the glue, even if the people, weren't on the same level. And that's what really, I think, in our farm, that's really true. Like the fact that we eat together. Maud-Hélène cooks lunch for everyone, every working days, and it's a simple meal. It's fresh from the farm. It's mostly no animal proteins, and it's quick and dirty. 1 hour, boom, we have a coffee, and then we're back to work. But once in a while, we also have Friday night pizza. And for me, Friday night pizza is where I get to celebrate with them and just take the time to tell them that I appreciate what they do for their work, drink a few beers, and then just chat about whatever, what's going on, about COVID, about vaccines, about social justice, about politics. Like, we've just had an election here in Canada. It's like, what was that all about? Why did we do that? It was just so silly and random, and feels like nothing came out of it. It was the same government that got elected with the same number of seats at Parliament, and it's just a lot of BS. So food for me is the place to kind of come together and talk about these things. And I just feel that on farms, having a time where we are together to eat a meal, not all the time and not always, because we also have a family, but it is important, and that's a big part of coming together as a team, as a community. So that's it for this week. Hope you liked the episode. I sure enjoy making them. So if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more about how we farm, check out the Market Gardeners Masterclass. If you want to be part of our community, check out the work that is done at Growers & Co. This is it for me for this week. Hope you're well. Hope things are growing. And I'll see you next week. Farm on. JM out.